welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing a monthly wrap-up video slash TBR. I'm tentatively saying TBR because I don't know how well I'm going to stick to that, but it's kind of something I want to try. I'm only going to pick out maybe 4 or 5 books, and we'll see next month if I actually do get around to reading those books or if I completely veer off and just read whatever catches my fancy. And without further ado, let's get into the video. I believe I read 4 books this month. All of them were ebooks. I've been really into ebooks lately. All of my physical books, and these, I don't know if you guys have, I don't know if you guys have noticed all of the books that I have back here in my headboard. Those are not all of my books. My bookshelves are in my living room. I film in my room because that has the best lighting. Okay, a little backstory. I recently moved, and before that, almost all of my physical books, except for around 20, were in storage. Well, right before I put all my books in storage, I got an e-reader. I got a Nook. And I used to say, I will never get a Nook, I don't want one, I don't like ebooks, I love reading physical books, but it became the most feasible option for me, and I've been really into ebooks, and I kind of need to start getting back to my physical books, since I can actually, really read them again. First, I want to say this is in no particular order, but I've read Dumplin by Julie Murphy, which I do have a review on. I'll link that down in the description bar for anyone who's interested. Dumplin is about a self-proclaimed fat girl named Willow Dean. When becoming involved with her new coworker, it sort of shakes her self-image a bit and her self-confidence. And in an effort to sort of get that back, she decides to enter the Miss Teen Bluebonnet pageant, which her mother is a sort of reigning champ and chair on the committee of the pageant, which sort of shakes up the entire pageant. A couple of other girls from her school who probably wouldn't have entered the pageant if Willow Dean hadn't end up entering, sort of in solidarity with her. And it's a YA contemporary, and I really enjoyed it. Another book that I read this month was Room by Emma Donoghue, which follows the main character of Jack, a 5-year-old, and his mother, who are held captive in a room, and this is the only world, sort of, that Jack knows because he was born in Room. He's lived his entire life inside of Room. I'm not sure if this is a spoiler, but their sort of experiences after they both escape Room and how Jack's worldview is sort of shaken by this. I did record a review for the book, for Room, as well as a movie review, sort of movie slash book comparison review. I'm not sure if I'll have that up before this video goes up, but whenever I have it up, I will link it in the description box. And the next book that I read this month was Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, which is the second book in the Grisha trilogy. And the Grisha trilogy is set in sort of an alternate, sort of magical version of Russia. It's a YA fantasy, and it follows Alina Starkov and her fellow orphan and best friend Mal as they join the First Army, where Alina later finds that she is a Grisha, which are sort of the magic wielders of the world in the series, and she is sort of swept away by this character called the Darkling, who is the head of the Grisha and tells her that she's the key to saving sort of mankind. I enjoyed the first book of the series, however I enjoyed the second book even more. The second book in the series really blew me away, and I'm not going to do a review on the first novel. I think I'm going to wait until I read the third installment in the series, and then I'm going to do a series review. I'm really excited about that. Maybe I'll link that in the description bar whenever I get around to doing that one. Subscribe so you don't miss that one. And I know that there is a prequel novel, I believe, called Six of Crows, which I do have, but I think that I'm going to wait. I'm not going to add that into this series review. I think I'm going to wait and do a separate review on that book when I get around to it. And the last book that I read this month was The Ask and the Answer by Patrick Ness, which is book 2 in the Chaos Walking trilogy. Another book I really enjoyed, and I also plan on doing a series review of that series. I don't want to say too much about it actually, because I think that my favorite part of the book was I went into it not knowing anything about it. And there's sort of a really big twist, and I don't want to in any way spoil it for anybody, but I really do recommend it. I really urge you to check it out. It's really, really good. But you'll be hearing all about that in my series review, which you'll miss if you don't subscribe. Come on, you don't want to miss it, do you? I'm not done with this book, but I am currently reading it, and I may or may not finish it today, so I'm just going to kind of add it in. I am reading Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, and I will also end up doing a review for that video as well. Not sure when it's going up, but stay tuned for it. I'm enjoying it at this point. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm enjoying it right now, and I'm a little over halfway through it, and you gotta stay tuned for my review video to find out my thoughts. And I think now I will move on to the TBR portion of this video. I have a bit of a TBR jar. However, if you notice in my background, you see all these lovely books. I'm not entirely certain how well you can see this. Most of those books, not all of them, are books that I've bought over the last year or so that I have not yet read. And I think I'm going to do a sort of unread books haul on them. But to make a long story short, some of those books are in here, but not all of them. And then I have like 50 books on my e-reader that I've bought that I haven't read yet. And some of those are in here as well. So not all of my unread books are in here. I would need a bigger jar for that. I'm kind of just gonna pull a few out of here and see what happens. This is an experiment. You guys are gonna get to experience this with me. All right. Okay, is this 2? Yeah, it's 2, whatever, that's fine. We're just gonna go with it. Oh, and the first book that I pulled out of my TBR jar, 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I'm almost positive you will not be able to read that, but that's what it says. I'm excited about that. I'm a really big Stephen King fan, and I actually forgot that I bought this book. So I'm gonna see if I can get around to reading that this month. And number 2 is Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. Very exciting. Again, I bought this book maybe about a year ago, and I still haven't gotten around to reading it. I'm really excited about this. I'm liking this TBR jar sort of situation so far. I'm really excited to check this one out. And it's a shorter book, so I'm pretty sure I can do it. And now let's go for another one. I apologize if I'm sweating in this video. It is very hot in my room. I can't open my window, and I don't want to turn on the fan because it would be too loud and you wouldn't be able to hear me. I have to have my door closed because I just got a new cat, and I'm still introducing her to my 2 current cats. You may have seen them somewhere in the background or heard them. Maybe I'll introduce you to my cats one day. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that, but just kind of that's why I'm all sweaty right now. If you can even tell, because I kind of can't. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, this is exciting. I really like this. And third book is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Again, another book I bought a really obscenely long time ago, and I forgot that I bought it. Yay, I get to get to it now. That's exciting. And let's do one more just for fun. Let's do one more just for fun. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Kesey. Again, I don't have to keep repeating this, but I don't even remember when I bought this book. But I'm gonna try to read it next month. This was exciting. I really enjoyed doing that. I'm gonna do this again. I'm also going to try to finish the third installment in the Grisha trilogy next month because I want to get that series review video up. And I'm also going to try to get the third installment in the Chaos Walking trilogy because again I want to get that series review up. Yeah, and I guess that's all for this video. As I say in the end of all my videos, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more from me. And as always, peace, love, and happy reading. Bye guys!